Hi, this is Greg. Welcome to the channel. On this channel we talk about business and investment, and on this episode we are going to do a deep dive into DraftKings. Now this suggestion came from some of my subscribers who looked at some of the IPO analyses that I have done on this channel, and they actually requested that I do this because they thought that this was a good stock to look at. So that's what I'm doing, and we're going to get right into it right now. Okay, so let's talk about DraftKings. DraftKings is a company that provides users with live sports betting and also allows them to participate, form teams, etc. in their fantasy competitions, which are many, varied, and hit every type of sports that you can think of. The company was founded by three guys, Jason Robins, who is currently the CEO, and two other individuals. They started basically in their basement, and it went public in 2020 in what's called a reverse merger with an acquisition corp. That's the way they chose to do it, and it's been public ever since that time. Now, the thing that interests me about this is I believe that with the pandemic and the way it's hurt local and state governments, I think governments going forward are just going to be looking for every way possible to shore up their tax base and to increase revenues and fill the big hole that's been left. And I think looking to tax online sports betting is going to be a very attractive revenue source for the parasites in these various governments. Did I say parasites? That's what they are. They're freaking parasites. So let's take a quick look at what the stock has done since it went public in April of 2020. And I want to take a look at some of the fundamentals of the company and sort of do the deep dive that we have done on several other videos in other companies, and let's do that right now. Okay, so we're in my trading account here, and as you can see, this is where it closed as of Friday, this past Friday, $63.87, and the stock has had some pretty volatile movements up and down. Let's take a look at what it's done. Okay, so here you can see where it's been. As far as April, it was down, where are we? It was down as low as, 11.75, and it took a run up here, had some choppiness, went all the way up to, let's see, what are we? We're, mid 60s, low 60s. Then it fell down again, and it went up, and it came down, and now it's almost back where it was previously, or it is back where it was previously. So the stock's at an all-time high right now. I wouldn't recommend buying it here because given the volatility, there will inevitably be a sell-off. In addition to that, I think we're going to see in the next few months coming up here, I think we're going to see a lot of volatility in the stock market in general. So I would wait for the time being. Let's take a look at the fundamentals of the company. 391 million shares outstanding. A little less than half is institutionally owned. The float is 328. Relatively low short interest. So I think most people that look at this stock are relatively bullish. These things don't really mean anything. The financial strength, pretty decent gross margin, 35%, roughly 36%. You can see their operating margin. They're losing money. Even on an EBITDA basis, they're losing money. Selling, in terms of valuation, it's selling at 86 times sales, and 24 times book, which, you know, for these recent IPOs in this market is not that bad. You'll recall if you watched the Snowflake video that I did a while back, it's selling for, I think, 172 times sales. So in terms of the world of enormously extended prices, this one, compared to what's going on out there, is really not that extended. Now, let's see, before we go back, let's go back to this. Okay, if you look at the 52-week range, $10.60 to $64. So, obviously, with a stock like this, where you buy it is critically important. So, in terms of looking at where you would go in on this, let's take a look at my technical indicators. And here we have the Bollinger Bands and the slow stochastics, which are the two things that I focus on mostly. But for the purpose of looking at an entry point, let's take a look here. You'd have to get down to, it looks like 48 in order to be piercing this bottom level of the Bollinger Band. This is the 50-day moving average. This is the Bollinger Band. So in order for it to go into an oversold position, you'd have to be 48. So I think where I would be very interested in looking at buying this stock would be around 50. Okay, in and around 50 is where I would look to accumulate it aggressively if I wanted to take a position in the stock. All right, so I think where I come out on this is if you think that the economy is going to improve following the vaccine coming in, if you think that people are going to continue to be interested in sports, which I think for many, many people is almost a mania, like even more than the stock market. I'm not like a massive sports fan, but my kids are, and I know many, many people that are just sports fanatics. I think that this online gambling and the fantasy leagues are something that people, largely younger people, are interested in. That I know there are some older people too, but for the most part, it appeals to younger people. That I think will continue to be very popular. But it's the online sports betting, the live events, that I think there's just going to be tremendous growth. And I think that DraftKings is in a first mover advantage. It's the leader in the industry right now. And I think that combined with the fact that the governments, the leeches, are going to look to suck money out of everything they possibly can, and online gambling is something that appeals to everybody. Right now there's about 10 states, including New Jersey. New Jersey, I think, was one of the first. But there are approximately 10 states that have legalized this. And so there's enormous opportunity for growth there. And I think just about every state is going to jump on this because they need the revenue, and they're going to be looking actively to expand their revenue base. So anyway, we give them a thumbs up. Thumbs up. I think this is something that you should definitely consider, and I'm going to add it to my portfolio as soon as it hits a level that I feel is attractive given the moving averages and given those Bollinger Bands and the slow stochastics that I look at for an oversold position. And who knows, maybe I'll put a reminder or something. Maybe I'll do a short video when and if it does hit that level, just to keep you guys up to date on what's going on and what I'm doing. All right, so thank you so much for joining. I hope you got value out of this. If you got value, give me the thumbs up with the like icon. It really helps me a lot. And also, for God's sakes, subscribe. I mean, how else are you going to hear my fantastic recommendations and follow what I'm doing if you don't subscribe? You miss out. So please subscribe, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next video, which will be coming your way real soon.